And a good evening. All right, welcome out to the patio here at the Sheila Humphrey Rec Center on the campus of Lamar University. Time now for our weekly Coach Pete Rossomando show, talking Lamar University football. How about those Cardinals knocking off number 19, Southeastern Louisiana, this past Saturday? Cardinals ranked, and that was the first time, Coach, in the history of the stadium, two ranked teams played against one another, and it was, as you would expect, 19 against 20, a good close matchup, and the good guys came out on top.
The good guys, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was, two really good teams. I think both well coached, and I think that, both teams play really hard, and obviously we came out on top with a great defensive effort and certainly put enough points on the board to win, but, obviously would love to get a couple of those drives back, maybe get a late touchdown in that thing.
Andrew Huff is the Southland Conference Defensive Player of the Week. Mm-hmm. He had 7 tackles, 3 solo, and 2 sacks. Yeah. He had another great game for you.
Yeah, he's playing well for us right now. He just got to continue to do that. But, I don't even think he could believe that he was Southland Conference Defensive Player of the Week. He didn't even win the Player of the Week on our team.
Really?
No, he didn't. Lamar Evans won it this week.
That was my next guy I want to talk about. I love saying his name, Lamar Evans. Yeah. He had 6 tackles.
He did. He played really well for us, and we've been waiting for that sort of breakout game from him. He's played pretty good all year and played good on special teams, but we wanted that. This was that game where he played a whole lot in the secondary, and he played really well for us. We needed it.
Another guy in defense, it seems like we talk about every week, is our hometown product, Christian Pugh out of Beaumont Westbrook. He had 5 tackles, including a tackle for loss.
Yeah, he played good. He got a little dinged up in the third quarter, but he managed to come back in the fourth and played well. Yeah, he's our leader back there for sure. So great guy to have out there. He's always making plays for us.
Ronnie Hamrick, another guy. 5 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. It seems like every week we're talking about these same guys because they're really bringing it every Saturday afternoon for you.
Well, thank goodness they're staying healthy. That's the number one thing. This late in the season, everyone's sort of looking at their injury report and saying, "Oh, I wish I had that guy. I wish I had that guy." So, we happen to have those guys still out there. So we're certainly fortunate, and they're really playing well, and it shows that consistency wins. And those guys have been very consistent for us this year.
Something that we talk about every week. We always read the numbers. I talk about Andrew 7, Marmar 6, Christian 5, Ronnie 5. Those guys show up in the stat book. Yeah. On your defense Saturday, who stepped it up that we may not be seeing accumulating the numbers?
Peyton Christian played really good for us. Played really well. Faulkner always plays really. He had the stop on the 2-point play. And had a couple. The last play of the game, he covered the tight end down the seam. They were trying to throw the ball to him, and so we had those 2 guys. Christian Booker played really well. All those D linemen, Alex Sumler. They played really well. Jackson Bandy played well for us as backing up Andrew Huff and got in there for about 20 snaps and played really well.
Let's talk about that 2-point conversion. They had 2 tries at it. Try one, personnel issue, didn't get your guy off the field. Yeah. They get another shot at it after they moved the ball up, and you guys were still able to slam the door on that 2-point try, the second one as well.
Yeah, we did. We had the play sniffed out pretty good, but you got to make the play. There's so many times you're in this position to make a play and you just don't make it, and our guys did, and they drove their feet and they ran him back, and he didn't get close to the goal line. So that was from a yard and a half out.
They scored 12 points, 2 field goals, and their other touchdown came on a special teams fake field goal where the holder runs it in. So defensively, your defense did not give up a touchdown to a very good offensive team.
Yeah, the field goal block team is our defense. So
yeah. There you go.
But it was actually a mix-up in the calls. We had 2 calls going at the same time, believe it or not. So usually you have a left or middle block. We had a left middle going, which shouldn't have never happened, but it got communicated wrong. And then so you had too many guys rushing and not enough guys covering, and that's kind of what happened. And they obviously had a great call on, and I know Frank Selfo that he's been around a long time, and I got a lot of respect for him. And those guys do a great job of coaching.
Southeastern, lowest offensive output against an FCS team this year.
Yeah.
And that says a lot, as we've been talking about, for your defense.
Yeah, I mean, they played great. I mean, we played at home. We tend to play really good defense at home, and I think obviously that helped us, and just getting them off their spot a little early. We had a sack on the first play of the game, and that always gets the guys juiced up. And we, offensively, we'll talk about that, but we held the ball for 35 minutes, which was a stark contrast to what we did in San Antonio.
That's something we will talk about on the other side of the break. The Cardinals offense in that 14-12 win over Southeastern Louisiana. We're back with more in the Coach Pete Rossomando Show on News Talk 560 KLVI. We are back here at the patio. Harold Mann along with Coach Pete Rossomando.
Hey, did you get over to the Silver Bullet Gang and get some cheesesteaks on Saturday or no?
Sadly, I did not.
Oh, man,
but I guarantee you I will be over there during the McNeese game. Absolutely. But we do, hey, folks, 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, nothing better to do. Why don't you head up to Nacogdoches? We'll talk more about that here in just a few minutes with Coach. But first off, we want to go back and talk about the 14-12 win over Southeastern Louisiana. Let's see. Robert Coleman, 7 for 11, 86 yards and a touchdown. Didn't throw the ball a whole lot. You kept it on the ground quite a bit. Kept the ball in your possession, and that keeps the ball out of their hands.
We did. And, Rob made enough plays to obviously move the chains. And I think we ran 70 plays. And, obviously, I think we ran 49 against UIW, put our defense out there a whole bunch, and, had the opportunity to keep them off the field a little bit. And that was the difference in the game. It allowed those guys to be fresh. It allowed them to hunt a little bit better. And, the offense did a really good job of maintaining the ball. And we had, we spread it around. Major had more carries than I think he's ever had in his career.
23.
And, we spread it around with Xavier Coleman and Omari and Raspberry. Those guys all played pretty good. And Ja'Cory Hyder had a great game for us at tight end. And, obviously with Devin being a little banged up, Devin did play in the game, which was great. But, he'll certainly be back to 100% this week.
Let's talk about Major a little bit. 23 carries, 79 yards. He had a touchdown. Was that the plan going in to try to get him as many touches? Because he's finally healthy. He's finally healthy. He's back out there and showing that senior leadership.
Yeah, I think it's really more like the hot hand. We're kind of just going with the hot hand right now. I think that's, Coach Macon, I trust him a lot. He puts those guys out there that he feels is starting to move the ball and see it really well. And, guys see different defenses differently, and Major was seeing that defense pretty good.
Xavier, had 10 carries for 41 yards, average over 4 yards a carry. And a young man we have not seen a whole lot, Omarion Raspberry, 5 carries, 25 yards. Do the math. He averaged 5 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Talk about him a little bit. We've not really seen a whole lot of him this year.
No, he was we signed him in the 2024 class, and he had to sit out fall of 24 because he had shoulder surgery. So we didn't bring him in until January. Came in, went through spring, went through summer, and really was struggling to pick up the offense. And then, I don't know, all of a sudden, midway through the season, man, things just started to click for him. And that's kind of what happens with freshmen. And now he's really playing at a high level, and he's a really strong and fast player. I mean, he's probably one of the faster guys on the team. Him and Nick Brown are probably 2 of the fastest guys. So I think he's starting to come along. He'll get some carries this weekend as well.
You talked about Ja'Cory moments ago. Ja'Cory Hyder out of Woodville, UTSA transfer. He had that 17-yard touchdown reception with 21 seconds to go in the first half.
Yeah.
Going to the locker room 7-0.
Yeah, big drive. That was a huge drive for us. And then, we had gotten behind the chains a little bit there. And then we, obviously he shook free in the back of the end zone and Rob found him. And then he had a big play on that drive, on a pass catch. I think it was 17 or 18 yards. And
it was 17. Yeah, I said 17-yard touchdown. but he had his long catch of the day was 17.
Yeah.
And he had a 17-yard reception. Another guy stepped it up on Saturday was Brenton Simmons. Had only 2 catches, but one of them a big 24-yarder.
Yeah.
2 catches for 35 yards.
2 huge ones. One was a big play, and then the other one got us a first down on that last drive that was 6 minutes. So he kept the ball in our possession and got us a first down. And he hadn't played much. He was hurt early in the season, and finally he's come back the last 4 weeks, and is really starting to contribute for us.
Ball control, unfortunately, on a 3rd and short, you turned the ball over with just over a minute to go, but your defense, stuck it up, got them 4 and out, and got the win.
Yeah, very disappointing. Obviously, you don't ever want to have a turnover in that situation, and especially from a senior. And we obviously got to clean those things up. But I do think that we got the ball back with 7 minutes left, and turned it back over to them with a minute left, and no timeouts. So I think we did a pretty good job on offense there. Obviously, if we didn't turn it over, we'd do a great job.
Yeah, and the leadership of Rob Coleman. And I talked to you about this earlier this week during your weekly, and it seemed like we talk about this every week when we talk about Robert. After that ball was turned over, I was watching him come to the sideline. He is high-fiving, slapping all those defenders going onto the field, basically saying, you got it. Let's go out there and finish it for us, because the offense had turned it over. And, he was playing that team leader, trying to, firing up those defensive guys coming on the field.
Yeah, I mean, he's, like most quarterbacks, he probably gets way too much of the blame and way too much of the credit when things go good. And, like I said after the game to the media, I just said if you're a Cardinal fan and you don't appreciate Rob Coleman, and I don't know what you're looking at, quite honestly. So he's a gritty kid. I know he's not perfect. None of us are, but man, he is just gives everything he can to Lamar and Lamar football. And I just appreciate what he does. I know his teammates do, and he's certainly positive. He's been a captain 2 years. That shows you his leadership.
Talked about the offense and the defense. Just talk about special teams.
Yeah, we played pretty good. I mean, they had 2 of the best returners in the country, and kickoff returner and the punt returner, and the punt returner had 0 return yards. Our punters did an unbelievable job of kicking the ball away from them, putting it in good spots, good hang time, holding the ball. Did a really great job, to be honest with you. And then, the one kickoff return got out a little bit. It got out to about the 33-yard line, 34-yard line. But, for most part, our guys did a good job of covering it. And, we did a good job on special teams. We could have had a couple of explosive returns in our own, but, unfortunately, we had missed a couple blocks and didn't work out that way.
You said punters. You used both of them on Saturday.
We did, yeah. We used the lefty and the righty, and, we'll continue to do that all year, and I think that helps us to throw some people off.
Final thoughts on that Southeastern game with they came in here. They did not have a loss in conference.
Yeah.
They left here with a loss in conference. And that basically, we'll talk about SFA and here on the other side of the break. But with you winning that game over Southeastern Louisiana, your fate, everything about you is in your own hands right now.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go play the games. It doesn't, for us, you got to play anyway. I don't want to leave it in anybody's hands anyway. Mm-hmm. So we have to go play. But I would say the one thing I'll say is, again, I have a tremendous amount of respect and admiration for Frank Selfo, the head coach over there. And I think they do an amazing job of getting their kids right. And their kids play really, really hard. They play the game the way it's supposed to be played. And, to go get a win against Coach Selfo and that staff really means our players played really well and our coaches coached really well. So proud of those guys. Obviously more work to do, but, we have the opportunity now to continue to play and, continue to control our own destiny.
And that destiny will continue on Saturday. By the way, that game's been moved from 6 to 4, so if you're planning on going up, it is a 4 o'clock kickoff coming up on Saturday from Nacogdoches. It is the Pete Rossomando Show. We're at the patio here at the Sheila Humphrey Rec Center on the campus. We're back with more on News Talk 560 KLVI. I thought we were going to have to get James Dixon up here to finish the show.
Oh, please. Yeah, he can do it.
Yeah, he can do it. You about said please no. Well, you caught yourself there. Cardinals getting set to take on SFA. That'll be this coming Saturday, 4 o'clock kickoff. Initially that was a 6 o'clock, but it's been moved to 4 o'clock. And I know they're doing what they can. They're selling cheap tickets up there to get as much purple as they can in the stands. Folks, it's not that far of a drive. Jump up there to Nacogdoches and watch your Cardinals on Saturday.
Yeah, we need you. We need you. Get up there. Let's go.
Absolutely. Let's real quick here take a look at the conference standings going into this Saturday. SFA 6-0. Lamar and Southeastern Louisiana each 5-1. Rio Grande Valley, McNeese, and Nichols, and East Texas A&M all 3-3. Then, of course, you've got UIW, Houston Christian, and Northwestern State. Some other notes for you. Saturday's victory was Lamar's 8th of the season, and that's a place in history. It tied the single-season record. Now, this has been 9 times, but the first time since 2014. Cardinals still have a chance to try an overall record of 10 wins, which was set in 1949. But this, of course, will be taking them one game at a time.
Yeah, this one's a big one.
It is. SFA, they're coming in. Their overall record is 8-2, just like the Cardinals. They are 6-0 in conference play. Offensively, they average 33.9 points a game. Defensively, 11.5. Overall, they're good and very good. Obviously, when they're sitting at 6-0, they're very, very good on both sides of the ball.
Oh yeah, they're a great team. Yeah, they're a great team. They got good quarterback play, and I think they're overall offensively have a lot of skilled players that play really, really well, and they've been around a long time. So I think that obviously, that bodes well for them, and I think that defensively they're probably going to be probably the best defense we've played all year long, I think, based on the numbers for sure.
Yeah, they give up like 65 yards rushing a game, 182 passing, and you talked about this. We're talking before the show about how up front, how big they are.
Yeah, they're good. They're not the biggest team we've played, but they're really good. I mean, the last 2 weeks we're going to play 2 of the best defenses in our conference. The only positive to that is we play an outstanding defense every day in our practices. So I think we're pretty much set up for playing defenses like this.
Looking at some of their numbers, quarterback is Sam Vidlak. He has 15 touchdown passes, 6 interceptions. He's thrown for over 1,800 yards. Yeah. Does he tuck and run as well?
He runs around to get the ball down the field. He's not really a threat runner. They bring in a backup quarterback to run the football, but he is certainly really dangerous when he escapes the pocket, throwing the ball down the field. He's got really good accuracy on the move.
Running backs, Gerald Wembley, I believe, is their top running back. He has 790 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns. And what kind of running back is he? Elusive? Does he run right at you? I mean, what will we see from him?
No, he's a Baylor transfer. He started at Baylor actually for a year, and then he just transferred there. He's probably a little bit more shifty, a back, probably a little bit more similar to an Xavier Coleman type of guy, and but he's explosive. He can definitely he's one of their big time kick returners too. So he does a really good job in both areas, special teams and offense.
Looking at their depth chart, they do go pretty deep at running back. Another one is Richard Reese. He has a couple touchdowns on the year. But look at the numbers. Of course, we'll see number 10. Talk about Gerald Wembley. He's their main go-to guys, but they do have other guys behind him that could carry the ball as well.
Yeah, they got guys that can tote the rock for sure, and they go deep and they use them in the pass game as well. I think all those guys got a lot of reception, so Vidlak knows where to go with the ball. He's been in that system 2 years now. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Kylon Harris seems to be their number 1 receiver, number 4. He's gotten to the end zone 8 times this year. He averages just under 12 yards of reception. So is he maybe comparable to the kid award number 1 last week for Southeastern Louisiana? What's he bring to their offense?
Oh, he's a small, fast, explosive receiver. I don't know if you remember last year, but he had I think he had 130 yards receiving against us and most of it was caught behind the line of scrimmage, and he made guys miss, and he's really elusive, and he's really a tough kid for being a small guy. He's really tough, and he's a guy you got to put your body on him, or you're not going to be able to get him down. So we got our work cut out for us. Him, 21. The other receiver is
that's Clayton Weiland.
Super talented, big kid. You know, we got to do a really good job on the perimeter of our defense. Last year we did not tackle well. They exposed us on that part of it. We got to do a way better job with that this year.
You talked about this earlier this week, and of course it shifted my memory a little bit. Seems like, and you know, they don't throw downfield a whole lot. They kind of throw a short pattern and try to make the receivers make something happen.
There's, you know, last year they had 296 yards of passing, and 260 of it was thrown behind the line of scrimmage.
So they just try to make things happen. And
they do make things happen. That's the issue. They do make things happen. So we got to get them tackled and on the ground and not give up big plays doing that. And you know, they're really, really disciplined. They don't get antsy. They'll take 5 yards at a clip and go right down the field. They're really disciplined when it comes to that. So we've got to do a really good job of not getting frustrated, not trying to do too much, not trying to do somebody else's job, just do your job, and we hope we can put that together for 4 quarters because we got to play good defense. Cardinals
again will be facing their defense. Your offense will. Tell us defensively what we're going to see from the Lumberjacks.
I mean, Zero, their D end that's their guy. I mean, he is he's their emotional leader. He's their Rob Coleman on defense. He's been there a couple years. He was very effective against us a year ago, and I think he's gotten even a little bit better. And they got another DN, number 2, he's a game wrecker. If you let him, you know, he's gonna wreck a game. He's a good pass rusher. He's got really good long arm move. He'll knock guys back. He's a really, really talented player. And then Southard, number 6, is a heck of a linebacker. He played against us a year ago as well, and he does a really good job for him. And he's one of them guys that you know was a walk on and's got a chip on his shoulder, and he plays like it every week.
Blitz, will they come after you? I mean, will we see a lot of blitzing?
We'll see a lot of man-to-man. They got, you know, one of the best corners in FCS football in Demings, and number 1, he didn't play against us a year ago. He was injured, but he's dynamic. He's long. He's fast. He's going to get in your face. He's going to play press man, and you know, so we're going to see some pressure and we're going to see some movement, and you know, those guys like to create havoc on the defensive side of the ball.
We are at the patio here at the Sheila Humphrey Rec Center talking Lamar University football with Coach Pete Rossomando. Cardinals getting ready to hit the road, take on SFA and Nacogdoches coming up on Saturday. We're back with more on the Pete Rossomando Show on News Talk 560 KLVI. At the patio, Harold Mann along with Coach Pete Rossomando. Cardinals getting set to take on SFA, Stephen F. Austin, up in Nacogdoches. Again, we're going to keep reminding you that that's a 4 o'clock, not 6 o'clock kickoff. Any particular reason why that game time?
No, I don't know. He just asked if they wanted to do that, and I said, sure. You know, I'd love to move it up. I don't, you know, the last thing you want to do is play a game at 6 o'clock and leave there at 11 and don't get home until 3 o'clock in the morning. So
I'm not going to ask you that it doesn't make much of a difference because I got scolded last time I did. He said, don't tell Joe. Now, just talk about this season so far. You dropped that opener, won 7 in a row, dropped one at UIW, came back. This has been a very special season here in your 3rd year at Lamar.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really thinking about that, you know, to be honest with you. I try to think about it day to day. It's just, you know, you got so much going on with trying to get a team ready and trying to keep everybody engaged and trying to make sure that you can, you know, get guys you know, in the game because, you know, we got so many injuries and things that happen throughout the course of the year. I mean, we got 5 guys that are out for the, you know, that have a season-ending injury before the season ever started.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're dealing with all that, and it just, you try to take it day by day you try to just get a win every day and hopefully get the right to go out and compete for a win on Saturday. And that's kind of what we do every day here. And, we try not to listen to the noise, good or bad, because, everyone's telling you how great you are when you're going into the UIW game. Oh, you're great, they stink, blah, blah, blah. Now you get in the kid's head, and kid's thinking he can go out and not play his best and still have a chance to win. But, I used to work for a guy that said, hey, if they're getting off the bus, they're getting ready to beat your butt. So you better be ready to go. And we feel like that's the way we got to approach every single day. And we got to worry about us. We can't really worry about our opponent. If we don't handle ourselves, it doesn't matter who we're playing on Saturday. So we worry about it. We worry about each other. But, I told our players, man, even after the UIW game, I'm always proud of our guys because they play hard. They play 4 quarters. They never quit, regardless whether they're winning, losing, behind, ahead. It doesn't matter. They just keep playing. And that's the culture that we've created and really they've created. I mean, it takes all of us, coaches and players and staff and everyone, to create a culture that's a positive thing. So.
And you got to sing the school song after the game again.
We did, yeah, and it was good because, you don't sing it after you lose. So, we didn't get to sing it at UIW, and, we're obviously we're very, very thrilled we had an opportunity to do that this weekend.
And, of course, being, the more fans in the stands, the better. The crowd that was there, they were energetic. Of course, we'd love to see a lot more bodies in the stands, and but they were excited. The fans were there from kickoff until the clock hit 0, and then they're really, that was one of those games where you're in it. You're in it as a fan, not as, of course, as a player or anybody in it the whole game.
We felt the energy for sure on the sidelines. I know that. I mean, they were loud, and that was. It may not have been the largest number. I think homecoming was, but they were the loudest group of fans that we had out there all year long. And I know, the flock was out there in full effect, doing an unbelievable job. But it was just great energy, and you felt it, and the players felt it, and. I always think that's positive. And, we're going to continue to grow the fan base and get them back in the stadium like they were back in 2014 when they started football back up again. And, we need to continue to grow that fan base and get out to the games. I know they can do it because I've seen it in some of the high school games and I've seen it in some of our games. So I know we can get there on a consistent basis.
Although they're on the other side from where I'm at, you talk about the flock, it just seems like they're in it. I mean, they're fired up. They're doing what they're supposed to do, yelling behind the visitors' bench. And, kind of like some places, we've had things thrown at our players. But fortunately, our kids don't do that. They get into the game and, they have a lot of fun.
Yeah, the one thing is, we're playing with a track around us this week, so they won't be very close to us. So that's a positive note when you're on the road.
And if I remember correctly, I think they have a little tailgate area outside the fence as on the press box side off to our right, where a lot of students hang out and stay behind the fence, and that's fine to me. They can stay out there, stay back there.
Stay out there.
Stay out there all they want.
Don't bother coming in.
But it's going to be a good, although we're on the road, it's going to be a good college football environment.
I would think so. Yeah, I would think so. I think it's obviously they're the best team in the conference right now, and we got to go up there and challenge them on the road, which is not an easy task, but we're going to get our guys ready to go, and they're going to be pumped up to play. I know that.
I'm going to ask you about the quarterback situation. Of course, Robert, and then Aiden's situation.
Aiden practiced today, which was good. He had really bad back spasms after he got really shouldered in the side and the back, and he couldn't return. They couldn't get him to calm down on the sideline, and then so we brought him back. Monday he got some treatment, didn't really practice. Tuesday did some light stuff and was able to start to get it loosened up. Did some throwing Tuesday, and then today he practiced.
So you have both quarterbacks hopefully ready to roll.
They'll both be ready, yeah, for sure. They'll definitely both be ready. I just we got to see how Aiden practices tomorrow and make sure he's moving in the right direction.
Of course, it's a Saturday afternoon game, but it's not all that far up the road. But you still want to bail out on Friday and get them up there, get a good night's rest for a road game,
Yeah.
and get up on Saturday.
Yeah, I think that's anything over an hour and a half, we're gonna go stay the night. So we're gonna go up that way, and I think we're going to Tyler and stay the night up there, and then drive down in the afternoon.
Very good. Have to get one more break in. We're talking Lamar football. Coach Pete Rossomando. We're on the patio here at the Sheila Humphrey Rec Center, Lamar University. Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock during the duration of the football season. We're back talking Cardinal football on the Pete Rossomando Show on Newstalk 560 KLVI. 560 KLVI. Harold Mann along with Coach Pete Rossomando. If they know what we up here, if you want to know what we're chatting about during a commercial break, it's dogs. We talk about the dogs.
We do.
You have two. Tell us about your dogs.
Oh, two of the greatest dogs ever. Because they're our dogs.
Yeah.
Some people that come to our house don't feel that way, but
but they're your dogs.
But they're our dogs, and they help keep my wife sane when football season's going on, and my kids are out of the house at school, and doing all that. So she's, they love being around us, and they're great companions for everybody.
And this year was a topic we had on our morning show a couple years ago. Now Al said no dogs in the bed.
Yeah.
I say yes. Jim Love, part of our morning show over here. Yes. Dogs. Okay. Let's say. Okay. Do real quick here. By sound, do your dogs sleep in bed with you all here? There. Well, we got a couple yeses.
Yeah.
But
yes, mine do too. But they're small dogs that don't shed. So.
Yeah. And that's the same with Sammy
big dogs. We had boxers that we didn't let them. They stayed. They laid on the floor on their beds. So.
When I had Sammy, someone asked me, "Does he sleep? Do you sleep? Does he sleep in your bed?" I said, "No, I sleep in his bed." Anyway, that's enough dog talk. Let's talk Cardinal football. Lamar getting set to take on Stephen F. Austin on Saturday, and let's just recap a little bit. Someone's joining us late in the show. We're in our final segment, going back to this past Saturday's game against Southeastern Louisiana. They came in here. They were unbeaten in league play, and
in FCS, they were unbeaten in FCS.
Yeah, FCS because they lost to Louisiana, Lafayette, and LSU.
La Tech and Louisiana Tech.
La
and
Tech,
LSU,
La Tech and LSU. So they're unbeaten on the FCS level. Very good team, and when you try to put your team, I guess, measuring stick going against a team like Southeastern Louisiana, how's that make you look at your team and how well you're playing right now?
Well, I think it was strength versus strength. I think their strength was their D-line. Our strength is our O-line, on that side of the ball. And then their strength was their O-line, and our strength was our D-line on the other side of the ball. And, that's the way it's going to be this week. And I think that's our guys got to go play well against a really good front. And I know that our O-line coach Kanata, and that crew, man, they work really, really hard, and they've had a good week of practice so far. Hopefully we finish it up tomorrow. But, we're getting those guys ready to go. And, those guys have played 5 guys in every game together all year long. So that always it's great. It's really good synergy when those guys can do that. And, obviously Robert and the crew feel really comfortable playing behind those guys. And then, tight ends, we were short Devin the last couple weeks, but Devin will be back. I mean, he played last week, but he didn't play a full game, but he'll play a full game this week, and, he'll be ready to go. And it was excited to see him out there running routes this week and, really playing full speed again, when Devin can play. And Devin didn't play against SFA last year either, so this is big time for him.
And he looked like from Devon, and
he's an East Texas guy.
That's where I was going. He's out of Maybank, one of our East Texas kids, and they're basically going home to play. So we do have some East Texas kids.
A lot of East Texas kids.
A lot.
You got two guys from Kilgore.
Tatum kids.
2 Tatum kids. You got
Norman
guys
G.
Norman G. That's really Brenham area, but and then you got. You got John Hester, who's from Hawken, and I mean, you got Cade Verdon, who's from Bullard, and I mean, we got a ton of guys from up that way. So, and guys that are going to play in the game.
And they'll get some red in their stands. They'll be there. Kind of like what we saw at East Texas A&M. That crowd at East Texas A&M for a visiting crowd.
That was pretty good.
That was pretty sweet. And again, we want to see that again on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, you all wanted a winner, and now we have an opportunity to go beat the #1 team in our conference on the road. So we need you there. We need you to support us. We need you to cheer on our guys in your school. Come on out.
2 wins this year over nationally ranked teams. Do you play much into that? I mean, it's sweet. I mean, it looks good. You beat #4 South Dakota, and you beat #19 Southeastern Louisiana. That's a good resume.
The one thing that I've heard my whole, when we started getting ranked after beating South Dakota, everyone talked about, we have a ranked team coming in here when we were playing on the road against other teams. And now we can say the same thing, like SFA's ranked higher than us. We got to go beat them. We got to go up there and knock them off. I mean, that's the deal, right? I mean, and it was the same this week. Southeastern was ranked ahead of us because we lost to UIW. So, we use that as the motivation just like everybody else does, but yeah, I mean, that in the end, that really doesn't mean much. You got to go out there and play. Once the ball gets snapped or kicked off or received, it doesn't matter after that. You got to execute your offense, your defense, your special teams, and you got to be in it in the fourth quarter in these types of games with an opportunity to win it. And I think that's one thing that our team is battle tested on. They've played a lot of four-quarter games. They've played, a lot of tight games, and including tight games against nationally ranked teams. So, our guys they're going to be ready to play 4 quarters of football. I know that for sure.
No, James Dixon might be able to answer this question for me. Is this the first time we've played back-to-back ranked teams? Going back, I mean, he'd have to, but I can't recall it. But I think it might be the first time, because we had 19th ranked Southeastern. And now we have 15th ranked SFA. And what that says a lot for the Southland Conference and how competitive and how tough this conference is.
Yeah, I mean, like I told everybody the last 4 weeks, I mean, we are playing murderer's row right now. We played UIW, and I know, I get it. They haven't won a lot of games this year.
Yeah, but
that's a good football team. We played Southeastern. We're playing SFA, and we're playing our rivals, the team in blue, in the last week of the season. So that is, I don't know who made the schedule, Mr. Grant, our commissioner, but that's brutal for Lamar University. So
I like that, the team in blue. We won't mention their name till next week.
Maybe not even.
The battle of the border. Because Ohio State fans always say that team up north when they're playing Michigan.
Ton. They say ton. Team up north.
Yeah, team up north. Let's see. UIW is one of 8 teams, multiple top 25 wins. So, they've played a brutal schedule. And so anyway, let's see. We have about 3 minutes to go in the show. Cardinals at SFA, just to talk about, as we do every Wednesdays, we get ready to wrap it up, just what takes place from tonight until you jump on the buses to head north.
On Friday. Yeah, so we're, obviously we're trying to have a great day tomorrow and have a great practice in the morning and be really focused and excited about what's coming up and give them some rest and recovery on Thursday. And, since it is a short trip, we don't have to bring them in bright and early like we did for San Antonio. So we'll get those guys in sometime around noontime on Friday and, go through our walkthrough progression and all the things that we do on Friday to get them ready for game time. Then we'll jump on the bus, and we'll head up to Tyler, to the hotel, and, spend the night there and get ready to go.
And backtrack to Nacogdoches?
Yeah, when you get up in the morning, it's walkthrough, it's breakfast, it's walkthrough, it's meetings, and then it's we're off and running, man. Pre-game meal, and we're on the bus heading down.
Now, when you do a walkthrough on the road, I've seen both in it take place in conference rooms. I've seen it out in the parking lot. What do you guys usually do?
We just find a space somewhere big enough for everyone to run an offense and a defense and a special team. So we usually start with special teams, then break off in offense and defense, and then by the time we're done there, it's time to get ready to eat our pregame meal and start to fuel our bodies for the the battle ahead.
Now the bus trip, how much before game? How much time do you like getting to the stadium before kickoff?
I'm a 2-hour guy. I like to get there 2 hours before, and I think that gives everybody enough time to get dressed and get out on the field and get a feel for the surface and all that good stuff, because I know they have a little bit of a different surface, very similar to kind of UCA ish as far as the turf and the way it lays down.
And that's going to be here before we know it.
Yeah. I mean, these they say the days are long, man, but the weeks and months fly by, and it sure has. So, we're at week 11 this week, and yeah, it's flown by, and in a lot of good ways. And I know when you're not having success, sometimes the seasons seem long, but man, it's flown by for us. And a lot of times that happens because you have great people on board, and not only our team, but also our coaches, our support staff, the guys like you, Harold, and Dixon, and the fans here, these unbelievable fans. I mean, it just makes everything fun, and it makes everything fly by.
All right, we'll see you Saturday, 4 o'clock. Go Cards.
I'll be there.
That's going to do it for the Coach Pete Rossomando Show. Get up to Nacogdoches. Go Cards.